So hello students, welcome to mathematics class. So today we are going to start new chapter, that is chapter number 1, real numbers. So in previous classes you have discussed about the numbers and number systems. So okay, you all know the definition of real numbers. So what is a real number? Real numbers are the set of both rational numbers and irrational numbers. Okay, so what is the real numbers? Real numbers are the set of both rational numbers and irrational numbers. So what are rational numbers? Okay, so the numbers which can be written in a form of p by q. Okay, and here p and q both are what? Integers. Okay, so the numbers which can be written in the form of p by q, here p and q both are integers and q should not be equals to 0. Okay, so q should not be equals to 0. So what happens if q value is 0? If we are writing p divided by 0, it will become infinite value. Okay, infinite value. So q should not be equals to 0, that is denominator should not be equals to 0 and p and q should be integers. So it means that rational numbers can be written in form of negative value also. Okay, now coming to irrational numbers. So what we have discussed in previous classes, irrational numbers can't be written in a form of p by q. We can't write. Okay, so we can't be written, okay, in a form of p by q, where p and q are integers, and q value not equals to 0. Okay, this basic definition you have discussed in previous classes. So in this class we are going to discuss actually what are rational and what are irrational and the types. Okay, so now coming to the point, so I am going to discuss about the irrational numbers. Okay, listen carefully. So here real numbers, as we know, these both are the real numbers is a set of both rational, that is q, representation of rational number, rational, and s, that is irrational. It is a combination or a set of both rational and irrational number. Then what we represent for real number? Representation is r. Okay, alphabetical order, q, r, s. Q is rational, r is irrational. Okay, irrational, and combination of these both is a real number. Okay, a real number. So this how, so this is the set of rational and irrational. Okay, now coming to the point, so see here irrational numbers, and we are going to discuss actual definition. So the numbers can be written in a form of p by q. So if I take the example as for example I am writing 5 divided by 10. Whenever I divide 5 by 10, so 5 is divided by 10. So here 5 won't coming in 10 table, 10, here I will write 0. I am converting in decimal form. So 0 point, here I am writing 0. 10 5s are 50, remainder will be 0. So this is divisor, this is dividend, this is coefficient, and this is remainder. Okay, coefficient and remainder. So we have converted 5 divided by 10 in decimal form, that is 0.5. Okay, so 0 point, I am writing this as 0.5. Okay, so I have written 5 divided by 10 in decimal form, that is 0.5. Again, if I will convert this number in p by q form, then it will become 5 divided by 10. So this is rational. Okay, the decimal form or the number which can be written in a form of p by q, and here we are getting decimal. The decimals we are getting again in two forms. Okay, again we are getting the decimals in two forms, that is decimals we are getting in two forms. Okay, first one is terminating decimal, and second one is non-terminating decimal. Okay, non-terminating decimal form. So whenever I convert P by Q form in decimal form, we are getting two forms of decimal forms. Okay, first one is terminating decimal and second is non-terminating decimal. Again in non-terminating decimal I am getting again two parts, that is first one is recurring, second one is non-recurring. Okay, first one is recurring and second one is non-recurring. So based upon these we can say the exact definition of real numbers. Okay, now coming to terminating form, just now I have converted 5 by 10 in 0.5. So here you can see after point, that is after decimal, so here it is terminating, it is stopping here, it won't be continuing. Okay, if I take one more example, okay, the example is 2 divided by 3. If I take 2 divided by 3, if I convert in these in decimal form, 2 divided by 3, 0 point, here also 0, 3 6 are 18, here I will get 0 2. Okay, again I will write 0, again 6 are 18, it means it is continuing. I will getting the 6, this digit 6, it will be continuing. So that is, if I convert 2 by 3 in decimal form, it will become 0.666. So this I can write as 0.6 bar. Okay, it means that here 6 is repeating after the decimal. Okay, 6 is repeating. So as it is repeating, it is called as reoccurring. Reoccurring. What is reoccurring? 6 after point, after decimal, the digit 6 is continuing. It is repeating. So it is called as reoccurring. Okay. So for non-recurring, okay, the digits won't be repeat. It is, the digit will be different. So it will be 0.1432, some so on. The digits won't be repeating. We'll be getting the decimals as different forms, 143, or we can be writing this as 0.10, 100, 100. So the digits are not repeating. Okay, so here they are non-recurring. It means that they are not repeating. We are getting different digits after the decimal. Okay, so this is how we can convert. So now you can see here, if I convert 0.6 bar in P by Q, then I will be getting 2 by 3. So for such things, for such non-recurring decimals, we are getting for root 2, root 3, under root 5. Okay, so root 2 value, root 3 value, root 5 value, we have different methods for finding the root values, which we have discussed in 8th class, isn't it? So if we are finding the root 2 value, we will be getting 1.4132, some so on. Here also 1.732, some so on numbers. Okay, so here the digits are not repeating, so they are non-recurring. Okay, so now the definition, how we can say, these both the terms which can be written in P by Q form, here also these both can be written in P by Q form. So the definition changes. What is the definition of rational number? Rational numbers can be written in a form of P by Q, very good. P and Q are integers, Q not equals to 0. And one more point we can add, whenever we are converting that P by Q in decimal form, the decimal forms are terminating and reoccurring. Okay, the numbers which have terminating decimal and recurring decimals, such numbers are rational numbers. Okay, the numbers which have terminating and recurring decimals, such numbers are called as rational numbers. And the numbers which can't be written in a form of P by Q, it means that indirectly they are non-recurring numbers. Okay, the numbers which are non-terminating and non-recurring decimals, the numbers which have non-terminating and non-recurring decimals, such type of numbers are called irrational numbers. Okay, such type of numbers are called irrational numbers. These combination of both rational and irrational, the set of both rational and irrational numbers are called real numbers. Okay, so rational numbers are denoted by Q, irrational are denoted by S. Okay, so Q, S, combination of, that is union of both Q and S are real numbers. Okay, combination of both Q and S, that is rational and irrational numbers. I think, okay, I think you have got this difference between rational and irrational and the exact definition for real numbers. Okay, now so this is the difference between rational irrational. Okay, so real numbers can be written as real numbers is equals to Q union S. Real numbers is equals to Q union S, that is real numbers are the set of both Q and S, rational and irrational. It is called as union. Union means combination. Okay, combining both rational and irrational, we are getting, okay, real number. So if I draw the Venn diagram, okay, so here we'll be having real numbers, rational numbers, here we have rational numbers, and here we have irrational numbers. So here mu, universal set, so this universal set is a real number. Okay, what is a rational number? It is can be written in the form of P by Q. So these are integers. Okay, again integers. We have subset of integers. What is subset of integers? Whole numbers. Again subset will be getting natural numbers. Okay, this is how we will draw the, okay, the Venn diagram for real numbers. We will be discussing this in next chapter, that is sets. Okay, so just I have discussed about this. Okay, so what is real numbers? I think you got. Now coming to one example. Okay, coming to some examples. If I ask you, okay, if I ask you one question, okay, numbers are being used in our day-to-day life. Okay, each and everywhere we are being using the numbers. If I ask you in which class you are studying, you will be saying that I am studying in 8th class or 9th class or 10th class. Okay, if I ask you age, you will be telling your age in numbers. If I ask your weight, it is also in number. Okay, so this how if I ask you what distance you have traveled from your home and to the school, so you will be saying that distance in the numbers. Okay, these numbers we are using in day-to-day life in different ways. Okay, if I give you one question that is in variables, if I say that here in a garden, I have a garden here. Okay, here I have garden. In a garden, I have some flowers and I have bees. Okay, in a garden I have some flowers and bees. If I say you, so here I have some flowers, I am saying some flowers, I am not telling the exact value of that flowers. Okay, here I have some flowers, here I have some flowers, and here I have some bees. Okay, here I have some bees. If I ask you how many flowers and how many bees are there, you will be directly saying by counting this number. Am I right? Flowers 1, 2, 3. There are 3 flowers. And here we have bees. Number of bees 1, 2, 3, 4 bees. Okay. So here directly I have drawn on the board. So directly by adding, you can say that flowers are, number of flowers are 3 and number of flowers are 4. If I change the question without giving this, if I ask you in other way, if I ask, in a garden we have some flowers, on that flowers, on each flower there will be sitting one bee. Now tell me number of flowers and number of bees. Can you able to say? No, we can't. Why? Because we don't know exact number of flowers and we also don't know exact number of bees. If we know any one value, we can say the exact value. Am I right? So if I say you there are 10 flowers and each flower consists of one bee. Okay, we have in a garden we have 10 flowers and each flower consists of one bee. Now can you tell me exact number of bees? Yes, we can. How? As we are having 10 flowers, number of bees will be 10 only. Am I right? Okay, if I ask you, same, I am having 10 flowers in a garden. If 2 bees are sitting on one flower, then tell me the number of bees. You can say directly. What I said, here I have 10 flowers and number of bees are on each flower, 2 bees are sitting. Am I right? 2 bees. So I will multiply it by 2. So 2 into 10, it will become 20. So 20 bees. If I say you, if there are 5 bees sitting on each flower, then what you will do? 5 into 10, number of flowers, into bees which are sitting on one flower. Okay, so 5 into 10, it will become 50. So total number of bees are 50. Am I right? So this how, if I give you one value, then you can find another value. If I give you nothing, then you can't find the exact value. Am I right? If I ask you, in a garden we have some flowers, on that flowers 2 bees are, that flower consists 2 bees. So can you say the exact value? We can't able to say the exact value. Why? Because we don't know actual value of flower and actual value of bees. Okay, so we will be writing that in a form of equation. Okay, we will be writing that in a form of equation. Okay, so now if I say, if I give you one question, okay, in a garden we have some flowers. In a garden we have some flowers, okay, and on each flower consists 2 bees and each flower consists 2 bees and one flower is left. In a garden we have some flowers and on each flower we will be having each flower consisting 2 bees. So if each flower consists of 2 bees, one flower is left. Okay, so I am taking flowers is equals to x. Okay, flower is equals to x and b is equals to y. Okay, let us assume flower is equals to x and flowers is equals to, number of flowers is equals to x and number of bees is equals to y. So depending upon these, okay, statement, we have to convert these in a form of equation. So you can see here, so in a garden we have some flowers. Okay, so flowers, on each flower consists of 2 bees. Okay, one flower will be left. So I will write the equation in form of x is equals to number of flowers is equals to, okay, number of flowers is equals to 2 bees are sitting in each flower. Am I right? 2 bees are sitting on each flower. Then how the equation will become? So 2 into y plus 1. Is it right? See here, number of flowers is equals to 2 into y plus 1. No, it will be wrong. Why? Because we don't be finding the value of flowers first. We will be finding the value of bees. Why? Because you can see in the statement clearly, here we are having some flowers and the quantity of bees is more than quantity of the flowers. Am I right? Bees are more than flowers. So we have to take this statement in a form of bees, not in a form of flowers. So here number of bees is equals to 2 into number of flowers plus 1. I think you have understood why I have taken y here and why I have taken x here. Okay, why? Because y, number of bees, the quantity of bees is more than the quantity of flowers. Okay, so the quantity which I have greater, I have to take in left hand side. Okay, and the quantity which I have less, I have to take here. Okay, I think you have understood clearly. Now coming to, I have got this equation here. Now I can't say the exact value. For finding the exact value of flowers and bees, I want any one value. Either I want number of flowers, exact number of flowers, or I want exact number of bees. If I say exact number of bees are 50, so listen carefully, exact number of bees are 50. If I say you exact number of bees are 50, then what you will do? Here I am substituting number of bees 50 is equals to 2 into x plus 1. By solving this we can exactly say the value. So here plus 1 it comes here. Okay, subtracting minus 1 on both sides. 50 minus 1 is equals to 2x plus 1 minus 1. So here I will get 49 equals to 2x. Okay, on dividing here, dividing 2 on both sides. So here I will get how much? X is equals to, okay, 4.5. Okay, so can I get the value of flowers in point form, in decimal form? No, I can't get. Why? This is in an odd form. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about even form and odd form of numbers. Okay, so here you can see, if I am getting a remainder as 1, then this form is called as odd form. Am I right? Am I right or wrong? Whenever the number is divisible by 2, such number is called as even number. You know the definition of even number. What is even number? Even number is the number which is exactly divisible by 2 is called as even number. If I take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, some so on. These all are even numbers. Am I right? So the numbers which are exactly divisible by 2 are called as even numbers, and the numbers which can't be divisible by 2 exactly, okay, the numbers are 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, some so on. These numbers are called odd numbers. Am I right? The numbers which are exactly divisible by 2 are called even numbers, and the numbers which are not exactly divisible by 2 are called as odd numbers. Okay, so you can see here, if I divide 3 by 2, I will get 2 ones are 2. If I subtract, I will be getting remainder as 1. Same again, if I divide 5, 2 twos are 4, again I am getting remainder as 1. If I take 7, 2 threes are 6, remainder will be 7. In all the cases, okay, if you divide 9 by 2, if you divide 11 by 2, if you divide 13 by 2, you will be getting remainder as 1. Okay, you will be getting remainder as 1. So the numbers, when they are divisible by 2, if we got the remainder as 1, such numbers are called as odd numbers. So here you can see, here we have, here 2 is the divisor here. Am I right? 2 is the divisor. It means that the whole numbers are divisible by 2. Whenever they are divisible by 2, here we are getting the remainder as 1. As the numbers we are getting remainder as 1, so they are called odd numbers. Am I right? They are called as remainder. Here we are getting remainder as 1. So this is called as odd number. Okay. So this is how we have discussed about. We have did one example. Why I have discussed this example? Why? Because this example is clearly, okay, this example is clearly discussing about Euclid's algorithm. Okay, this example clearly discuss about the Euclid's algorithm. So what is Euclid's algorithm? Here we are having two parts again. One is Euclid's algorithm and another one is Euclid's division lemma. Okay, here we are having two parts again. One is Euclid's algorithm and another one is Euclid's division lemma. Okay, so we have the difference between these both. Okay, so previously what we have did here, flowers and bees example, that bees example clearly depends upon this Euclid's algorithm. Okay, so in next class we will be discussing about this both the things, Euclid's lemma and Euclid's algorithm. We will be discussing the difference between these both. Okay, so now coming to the conclusion, what we have discussed in this class. So what we have discussed, first we have discussed about real numbers. What is real numbers? That is set of rational numbers and irrational numbers. What is the exact definition of rational and irrational? We have discussed that. What is a rational number? Which can be written in a form of p by q. Okay, p by q, and again we have converted in decimal form. The decimal form also we have taken in consideration. When the decimal forms are terminating and recurring, that numbers are called as terminating. That numbers are called rational numbers, and coming to irrational numbers which are non-recurring, we have discussed in this class. Okay, so these all things we have did in this class. Now in next class we will be discussing about Euclid's algorithm and Euclid's division lemma. It is so interesting. Okay, so interesting, and you will be getting interest in that when we will discuss this Euclid's algorithm and Euclid's division lemma. Okay, this is